Welcome to another episode of the Weekend Grill, episode number 13. Joining me today, Paul Italiano. Welcome back, mate.
Adrian, thank you. Thanks for having me, mate. Looking forward to it.
Yeah?
Big weekend
Looking
of footy.
forward to the haircut.
Wow. Did I not
Mate,
say?
we've got to do the reveal. We've got to do the reveal.
You're a man of your words, mate.
Mate, unlike some, I actually stick to my word and I actually pay up on my bets.
Once you shave it, it never grows back the same.
Mate, do you like use conditioner? I was worried, man. I don't know what conditioner
I used to. Maybe a bit less than the moment.
I thought you may have been disappointed because I didn't go that short, but no, look, it is
too bad
what
the shaved head, mate.
Mate, I used to run it at high school.
Thank Ken Hinkley for that.
Yeah. Well, thank Geelong. What a shit show that was. But anyway, we'll move on, mate. On this episode, we're going to talk about Tim Taranto and his Tigers. We might have a little bit of a
good debate there, I think.
Yeah, it's healthy. It's a healthy debate. In a democracy like we live in, and a debate's healthy.
Always good, mate.
We're going to talk about the sling tackle and what the story is with the sling tackle.
Yep.
I think I'm confused. I think the whole AFL public's confused. No one has any idea. No one's had an idea for the whole year. We're going to discuss it. And some overused footy terminology. So we put out a tweet earlier in the week about some terms that get overused, and we had some good responses, and we're going to run through them and get your feedback and just have a little bit of a laugh, really. There is one I actually saw today, which I've got to remember, but it was really funny. We're going to go through our Who's Cooking segment, top 5 players, top 5 teams. This is going to be interesting because a few of the top teams had the bye.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and which consequently means some of those players I'd be interested to see what yours are. Mine hasn't really changed. I mean, it has, but it hasn't. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then we'll go through our round 15 preview, which again, there's another round with some teams having a bye.
It's weird with the bye.
Mate, it's weird that Carlton won. Mate, I was going to call off the show.
I text you saying, is the show still on? And if it is, what are we talking about?
Mate, I was confused, man. I got to yesterday or Monday night and I was trying to work it out. I'm like, mate, we might have to call Mike and say we're not going to have a show this week.
I can't believe you won. Everyone was calling up Monday morning. Carlton's back.
Walking into work like
who do you have
10
next
men.
week? Who's Carlton got?
Hawthorn Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah, I don't want to speak about Blues. They were good. We might touch on them a little bit as a side topic.
I think we have to.
Yeah, we might at the end. We might,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, look, I mean, there's a few things to say. I mean, I'll get your point of view, obviously, as a non-Carlton fan.
I'm not fulfilled if I don't bag him on this show every week. So.
Fair enough. Well, look, we'll get into it. We're going to start with Tim Taranto and his Richmond Tigers. You want to speak about it? You had something to say? What do you think?
He had how many touches on the weekend? 38?
Maybe been 35 or 33. Possibly 38, yeah.
I think he had 38.
Yeah, he did. I've got his averages.
After the game, I saw a post come up, 38. He kicked a nice goal in the last quarter.
Yep.
All right, really good goal.
Banana.
But it's always, I can understand if you're watching the footy at the ground and you walk away and you said, I didn't notice. You see it a bit different at the ground. But when you're watching it on TV, you notice possessions and who's got the footy, a lot of it.
Of course.
He had 38 touches. I rewatched it. I had to go back.
Did he have 38 or 33?
He had 38.
I thought it was 31 and a half. It was 33 or 38?
He had 38 disposals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 38. Okay, sure.
I went back and looked at his disposals. They're just not effective. And they're not effective. He went at 52%.
Yep.
Right? So that's one every second kick hit a target.
Hang on, 52% kicking efficiency or disposal efficiency? Right.
Most of them were kicks.
Right, okay.
And they're hack kick forwards.
Which is what Richmond play, which is a territorial.
They do.
In whether that was basically, you may as well be at the fucking ocean.
They do.
You may as well be in the torrential rain, mate.
But some of his kicks went a metre. Multiple kicks went a metre. Ineffective.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get the 3 Brownlow votes.
Yep.
Right, which I'll disagree with.
Dusty had a good game too, by the way.
Yeah. So did Cochin.
And 3 goals.
Short was the other one.
Yep. So you yeah.
I hope we don't get sucked in to his numbers. And I think a lot of people do in the media.
Yep.
Get sucked into his numbers. They go on the AFL app after the game. Oh, he had 38 touches. We'll give him 3 votes. I don't think he was the
Carlton
best
players
around.
do that every week for the last 6 weeks, leading disposal getters. I don't think anyone gets sucked in.
Yeah. Well, I hope we're not. How did you see his game?
I've actually seen his last 5 weeks is really good. Like he's averaging, I've got it written down. He's averaging like 30. His last 5 weeks, Tim Taranto.
He's been good.
35 disposals, 8 clearances, 9 goals combined. Like I think it's a fair assumption to make that Richmond's form in the last 5 weeks, which includes 3 wins and 2 losses, one of them by a point.
Was it the Giants?
No, they beat the Giants by 6 points. They lost to Western Dreamtime by a point.
Yes, which they should have won.
His last 5 weeks, he's had some good numbers, and I know you're saying that don't look too much into the numbers, but it is fair to assume that Richmond's success in the last 5 weeks, or somewhat success, is partially because of Tim Taranto. I don't think we can disrespect or.
I think.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. I think McGualter, since he's come in, he's gone back. He's reverted back to. He's put Cochin in the middle, playing full-time midfield.
Yep.
Short's gone back half-back flank full-time, and I reckon he's coaching in the moment rather than. I think Hardwick was coaching more so for the next 2 years. He's blooding some youngsters, looking to the future. Look, Cochin's not going to play midfield full-time for the next 2 years, is he? Was this his last year, you reckon?
I had him actually, to be honest, I had him retiring in about round 20, circumstantial to how...
This year?
Yeah, to how Richmond's year was going, which we're going to move on to a little bit soon. We're obviously still having a chat about him, but I thought that round 20, circa 20, 21, around there, towards the back end of the year would be his last game. I thought I'd see him literally on the back of a ute doing a lap of honour around the check. I mean, I got that wrong. It wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong. But, no, look, in all seriousness, moving forward, I don't think Cochin is part of their plans. I mean, it's hard to see even someone like Jack Riewold's holding the fort down because Tom Lynch is still out. I still think there is a role for Jack as a mentor, as an add-on. But a player like Trent Cochin, I mean, people want to speak about, like, footy gods and whatnot and, you know, whether it's just the term, which we'll speak about in the terminology later. But like Saturday, he had his birthday. Like, he had a good game, but he's not. You can't rely on Trent Cochin to be posting up those numbers or having those performances every single week.
He was good. That was vintage Cochin.
I'm not downing your goodie. I completely agree.
He was good.
But Timmy Taranto. So I just want to ask, like, what does he need to do to get your blessing? Like, does he need to go on his knees, or does he need to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage?
I'm
or like,
super critical because I had him in my top 5, like, and he's been good. He's been hitting the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I just think the game he had on the weekend.
Yeah.
He had 38 touches, but I watched it closely, and there was at least 6 kick off the grounds that went about a centimetre, and I couldn't even believe it was awarded a disposal.
So I understand where you come from with that, but in terms of the way we know Richmond, how they play, like the terminology, the Richmond way is an actual thing. Get the ball forward, keep the ball in motion. Do you not think that even though the way that he had those 6 kicks off the ground, if you want to put it, is that like not beneficial to the way that Richmond play? Like I know we're not judging. I know we're not judging him on the success of Richmond. We're here to just speak about at the moment. We're talking about his individual performances. So does he need to like go at 80% to get your tick of approval?
That's low because of the weather. He's not going to go at. So I'm sure he's not averaging 52%.
He's actually.
You looked?
I didn't look, but I know it's not as bad as what everyone thinks it is.
Yeah.
So everyone has that perception of just because Kane Corns came out earlier in the year and criticised his disposals. I don't think it's as bad as what everyone thinks. However, like if he was even to kick at 70%, wouldn't we be sitting here saying like, oh, he just gets the cheap kicks around the back?
Yeah, I know
as that type of midfielder, like.
But do you? The criticism around him is what was given up for him.
Mate, I know. And
a lot
to
was
me
given
at the
up.
moment, it's justified. A lot of people can take off at the 600. I've made some early calls. We've all made early calls that have been wrong. But the criticism at the start of the year, in my opinion, was unjustified. Like it was. You're never going to know in hindsight, Paul. Like that. But
when you give up
thing.
big picks,
right?
You give up picks, big deals.
Right.
What's 7 years?
Yes, him and Jacob Hopper both got 7 years. Jacob Hopper might be back soon. He's been injured. So we can't really judge him. Yep.
7 years.
Yep.
Big coin.
Yep.
And they gave out 2 first rounders for him?
Not sure. They gave up a lot of their capital.
Yeah, I think they gave their first rounder and a future first rounder.
Yeah.
I might be wrong though. Don't quote me on that.
No, I'm the same. Completely agree. I know it was 7 years, and I know it was a first round pick.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure
and I think when you sign those deals and you give up a lot, you get criticised more.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, you can only really judge in hindsight. So what happens in I mean, what were people criticising Richmond when they picked up Richard Tamling ahead of Buddy? Like, we don't know until I don't want to bring up old words, but mate, Richmond ended up winning 3 premierships, so who gives a shit? No, but in all seriousness, we're not going to know the outcome of the decisions that Richmond have made in regards to Taranto and Hopper until after the fact.
We can talk now.
It's easy to assess and judge after the fact. So, I mean, it's like everything in footy. You know, decisions have consequences. But yeah, I just want to say, with what he's done in the last 5 weeks, do you think it's a fair call to say, had it been a Patrick Cripps or a Dustin Martin or a Dangerfield, mate, our hand will be halfway down our pants. No, seriously. If it was one of those players, come on, look, we would be frothing if those numbers that we just mentioned, irrespective of the disposal efficiency, his tackles, his scoring involvements, his clearances, his goals, his touches.
Yeah, but he's not damaging. That's the thing. He needs...
Completely disagree.
You disagree with it.
Completely disagree.
If you give Nick Dacos 38, you give Rosie 38, they're damaging.
Right.
He's 38. I don't even think he was best on ground on the weekend.
So, okay. So you've mentioned 2 players, and I'm sure you can mention 10
there's
others.
More.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, what does he need to do for you to classify? Not just you. There'd be plenty of people that are not pouring cold water. It's a topical debate. Like, it's a genuine debate where, obviously you think that he's not having a big impact on the game, or you believe that some people are assessing his games on too much merit. What does he need to do for someone like Kane Corns or a harsh judge like you or anyone else?
Purely
what does
talking,
he have to do?
I think his last 4 weeks has been good.
Yep.
Right? Purely on the weekend and prior before last 4 weeks.
Yep.
Right? We get sucked into numbers a lot. And we all do. I
completely agree. I completely agree.
Even like I'm Collingwood, Nick Dacos, 42, right? He probably had 6 kick-outs and
mate, you
7
just mentioned
1-2s,
him if you gave him 38 touches, it'd be effective.
I'm saying in certain games, people just look at his numbers and say, oh, yeah, Nick Dacos had 42. Look, out of those 42, there were probably 3 or 4 kick-outs. How many 1-2s does he get? But he's still damaging. He's still a damaging player.
Do you think the way that Tim Taranto is used, and Pommy in Oz, Alan Shearer, as you call him, who Pommy's got, in my opinion, one of the best minds in football, and he always mentions how certain teams use players. Mm-hmm. I believe, you mentioned Nick Dacos. Sorry, not I, but Pommy is big on how Collingwood use Nick Dacos. Do you think Richmond are using Tim Taranto in the right way? Like,
they are.
Yep.
I just think what they've given up for him, they've given up a lot for that type of player. I reckon you don't need to give up that much for what he does. I look at what he does and I look at Tom Mitchell and I see like for like. Yeah.
Okay. So
I see a lot of Tom Mitchell in him.
He's your
You look at Tom Mitchell 5 years ago.
Is that your measuring stick? You're looking at Tom Mitchell and what Collingwood gave up and the business that they did.
Well, Tom Mitchell fits straight into what Collingwood need. They don't need him to get 40 touches. They want him to get to ground level, win contested footy, move it forward, get to the better ball users.
So again, it's how certain coaches use their play. So do you think Richmond are using Taranto in the right way? And
he is used in the right way.
Sure, but you just don't think he's worth what they gave up. Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't think he's worth what they gave up.
Okay.
No. Do you?
Okay.
Do you think he's worth?
To be honest with you,
would you give up knowing what he's done for Richmond?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Would you give up what Richmond gave for him?
Well, we'll never know on the premise of 2 things. We don't know what Tim Taranto's upside could be, and we don't know what the pick that
on his form this year.
Hang on a sec, but we don't. And this is what I'm trying to say. I've been guilty of doing it as well. Where
I just want to know
where we make the wrong judgments and the wrong calls
on his form this year. Would you give away 2 first rounders and a 7-year deal for him?
2 first rounders? No, but is that what they gave up, or is it a future?
They gave a first rounder and a future. So they've got
GWS
have their pick this year. I
would, considering where Richmond are and what Richmond needs. An aging midfield where they had to but Cochin sort of got flushed out to the forward line early parts of the year.
Yep.
Dustin Martin's nowhere near a mid anymore. It's now Shea Bolton's team and Tim Taranto's team. So yes, I would.
You would?
I would, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But look, we'll move on we'll stick to the Tigers actually.
They've been
Mate,
good. They've been good.
I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't say wrote them off, but I was very, very worried as to what I saw earlier in the year. I wasn't sold on them. I thought they were absolutely cast. And this stretches back from round one with the draw. Saw a couple of the games when they lost to the Bulldogs as well. I saw that game at the MCG, and that was in wet conditions too, which you think is Tiger sort of games.
Yeah.
And then I saw them bounce back throughout the year where, I mean, even that the win against GWS and the win against Geelong that they had on the Friday night, I saw glimpses of the old Tigers.
I thought the Geelong game, Geelong kicked themselves out of it early.
I mean, I've got a theory about that game, but I mean,
Yeah?
anyway,
I thought they were, look, and then they were unlucky not to beat Essendon. They should have won that. So
I mean,
hand in hand, they get,
Essendon's
1-1.
formal. I know it's hard with the AFL because week in, week out, like just because one team plays poorly against a certain team, the next week it doesn't mean that their structure and their system is going to be replicated in the exact same way. So it's hard to assess on a week-to-week basis, but that is how we all assess it. But I think we need to look at it in a much broader scale, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I was shocked of where Richmond are now. I wasn't surprised at the start of the year or in the first sort of 8 or 9 rounds where they were. I mean,
They've had a heavy injury.
They have, and
too.
I reckon it showed in that Sydney game in the gather round where they got pumped.
Oh, that was
Friday night.
Point.
Yeah, I agree. But look, where they are now, 9th, I've looked at their run. You've looked at their run. I'm going to ask you one question. It's a yes or no. Do you think they make the finals?
They do.
I reckon they do
They're
too.
the informed team of the comp. And
informed team?
Yeah, they are.
Port Adelaide's 11 in a row means nothing?
Yeah.
No,
I know.
I know.
One of the
taking the piss.
informed.
I know. I apologise.
Right.
Yeah.
And they only lost to Port by 10 points at the G, I think.
Yeah, that was McWalter's first game. Yeah.
And I look at who's around him on the ladder, and I don't see much that can pop into the 8 besides them.
So to give you an idea, which I know you already know, they're on 32 points. St Kilda are in 5th. Yeah, they're 9th on 32 points. So order's been restored.
They 9th?
They're 9th. Of course they're 9th.
We finished 9th again.
Anyway, yeah. Harry's going to cry.
So they're at home.
If Harry watches this show, Harry's going to cry on Saturday night with the free kick count. He's literally in tears.
If I've ever met a fucking sook, it's Harry Manaras. Such a Greek sore loser.
I'm going to let him know that.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, no, look, in all seriousness, so Richmond are 9th on 32 points with a percentage of circa 102.
Mm-hmm.
Put things into perspective, St Kilda are 5th on 32 points. So
I wouldn't be disheartened by St Kilda supporter.
Sorry, they're not. Sorry, Richmond are on 26 points. My mistake.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Apologies.
You said 32.
I did.
Yeah.
I apologise for that. I stand corrected. Thank you. They're on 26 points, and I'm just thinking a couple of those games, like the draw against Carlton, which they should have won.
They should have
won. The game against Essendon. So if we give them those 6 points, all of a sudden we're speaking.
They're 5th.
That's only 2 out of the 14 games, but all of a sudden we give them those extra 6 points.
Yeah, but they won a couple close ones too. They beat the Giants. That could have gone either way.
They could have gone either way. I know it's a coin flip, but I just think
game.
I just think of the games that they should have won. Right,
I definitely sure they should have won round 1 and round 1 against.
And they should have beaten us in round 1. So we give them those extra 6 points. All of a sudden they're on 32 points. We're talking about it in a completely different way.
Yep.
I really like. I just look at also who they're going to get back. Tom Lynch.
Yeah, that's a question mark. Yeah.
It is, but he means so much to them. Like
he's a 3 to 4 goal difference.
You think he makes them a 3 to 4 goal different team?
Yeah. He's a gun.
Okay,
he's a game changer.
Okay, I agree. I think he's huge. I think you can rely on him. I think the one thing about this guy is you can rely on him.
You can pencil him in for 2 goals before the game starts.
Yeah. You just can't pencil Tim Taranto for under 31 and a half touches.
No, you can't.
No, I'm joking. I'm just taking the win. All right, look, we'll move on. That's a good discussion about the Tigers. Yeah, so just to confirm, you think they are making finals?
Do you think they make the 8?
Do I think? Yes, I'm asking you though. No?
I think they make it. And
I reckon they do. And I don't think you want to verse them.
You wouldn't want to play them.
Same as Geelong. I mean, Geelong are fringe because they're almost cut. Geelong's, we'll talk about in the preview, but Geelong's borderline. But Geelong very similar. Geelong and Richmond are 2 teams.
Do they play again this year? I'd love
Geelong
to know.
And Richmond. We can have a look.
That's a mouth-watering contest.
Geelong and Richmond.
At the G.
Yeah.
I hope they do play each other.
Who knows? No, it'll be a first game. Yeah, possibly.
Does Carlton play them again?
Richmond?
Yeah.
No.
No, I don't think Collingwood does either.
No. Anyway, we'll move on. That was good. Very good chat. We're going to talk about the sling tackle. Another topic I know that you wanted to talk about. I'm very limited as to what I can say because I just think it means nothing, if that makes sense. Like, one week we know, the next week we don't.
Yep.
You know, they put their finger up and whatever way the wind's blowing, that's the decision they're going to make.
I mean, there's a lot of variables in what...
I don't know. I really don't know. I need you to help me understand.
Well,
if that makes sense.
Look, it's confusing when you look at it tackle by tackle because there's so many different variables that can happen when you're tackling a player.
Sure.
Right? E.g.,
Correct.
someone's in the way, the weight of a player, the force of, the tackler. There's so many different things. Like, who was the one from Sydney who just got tackled? What was his name? The Lizard.
Nick Blakey with Dan Butler. That wasn't a sling tackle.
That wasn't a sling. But
No,
when
that wasn't
you're
a sling.
skinny...
The James Sicily one is a genuine sling.
That was a sling. But
That was a sling. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I think with the Lizard, because of his body weight and the
makes a
force...
stick.
And the force that he was hit with, his head slung. His
Sure.
head had that whiplash motion.
Absolutely.
And it looks bad. And
Yep.
I'm glad he got let off. But
Dan Butler. Yep.
they're trying to get rid of
Agreed.
that second motion from tackling to forceful contact to the ground.
Well, there
That's
is
what
an
they're
easy
trying to
way
get rid
around
of.
it. There's two ways around it. One, it can be coached around.
Yes.
Secondly, the umpires can blow the whistle the moment they know they're not going to put a
That's
hole
the
in the ball.
one. Bingo.
But then again, the umpires will escape all criticism like they have for the last 15 years. And
Yeah.
let's be honest.
There was
like,
one on the weekend. The umpire let it go for about 5 seconds.
Sure.
He could have just balled it up, blew his whistle, balled it up.
Yep.
And it got to a point where the umpire didn't blow the whistle and the player threw him to ground.
Do you
And he
remember
got
who it
reported.
was?
Nah, I can't remember who it was. I can't
He
remember
got
what game it was.
reported.
I think it was a GWS game or the Freo. Might have been the Freo game.
Oh, Lockie Whitfield.
Might have been the
Yeah,
Whitfield.
it was. I'm pretty sure it was. It
There
was on
wing-
the non-broadcast side.
Yeah.
On the yeah.
I think he took a while to blow the whistle.
I don't know what ended up happening with that, but he did get.
I think he got a week.
Yeah.
So I understand why they're trying to get rid of it.
Do you think that was he gave a free kick? Right, there have been some on
and
that
reported, he
and
reported.
on most instances. These guys and the players that are performing the sling tackle are not getting reported sometimes, and there's not like James Sicily won a free kick.
Did he?
Mate, he won a free kick against that the guy from Brisbane.
Yep. It's going to be hard for
I don't know. I don't know.
In-game umpires. It's going to be hard to determine if it's reportable or not, right? Because after the game, look, they go through with the slow-mo replays. And
Slow-mo's all completely different. Like
it doesn't help.
The slow-mo is just, it gives you a completely different perspective on it.
Yep. Because it's split-second decisions. And you got to remember, when you're playing footy from 6 years old,
Mason Cox started when he was like 21.
21,
Yeah, anyway,
yeah.
he's the one exception to the rule.
when you're tackling that way from 6 all the way to at 21, it's in your DNA.
I understand.
You don't know any different.
I understand, but I think it's like anything in life when you want to, not push an agenda, but when you want to move things or change a movement in any facet of life, you need to start from the root. And I believe now in junior footy, I know I was kicked, they don't really tackle, but in junior footy, they're going to start teaching or start coaching either one to corral instead of tackle, and secondly, it would be how you tackle.
Yep.
It could be a genuine art. Like it could almost as good as ducking and trying to get a free kick. It could be a genuine art to tackle a certain way. Because players have got white line fever. Like I'm telling you now, even when we were younger, we used to play. Like, mate, we saw someone else's opponent. Like that's blood. I'm seeing blood, bro. I'm a predator. We're apex predators. Like we're going full. Like
was nothing better.
We're not going there to tackle someone and hold him to the ground.
That's right.
Mate, we're going there to hurt you.
But
like that's how it is.
Look, the AFL's getting sued.
That's
why
know.
we know that.
I
It's
know.
not stupid. And look, any business will do the same thing.
100%.
You have to look after the players. And I was reading something last night where
someone made a comment on our video last week about it, about tackle, and I was trying to explain the first ruling for that class action is going to be so significant and it's going to determine or dictate what happens next. So if they rule the first one in favour of the player, mate, there's going to be more players that come out, which is going to force more change from the AFL.
Yeah.
They were all the first case in favour of the AFL. Half the players will dwindle, and it just sets a These class actions are going to set such a precedence moving forward.
I think there was some more players joining in. There was like another 80.
Mate, this is what happens. They all hop on the train. It's like when Tiger Woods fucking had that affair with that Sheila at Crown Towers. Like, she comes out and the fucking other 20 come out. Fucking I'm telling you, that's how it works. They just need it.
Yeah.
Just need an excuse. Not an excuse.
But you got to look after the head.
You do. I completely agree. I'm not disputing
I've read
that.
reports there's players try killing themselves because they're
I'm not disputing that. What I'm disputing, and I said this in our very first episode, my issue with that concussion rule is I don't understand how players get 2 licks of the ice cream. So, okay, they play AFL, they get concussed, and then after they have their concussion, they play X amount of games after their concussion and still get paid and then want to go and sue the AFL. Yep. Like I said in the first episode with Paul that all your payments after your first concussion should be null and void. If the judge or the adjudicator, whoever it is, goes, I'm ruling the case in favour of you, Paul, then every match payment or every dollar you earned after that concussion incident is null and void. It's deducted off the final payment, off the final decision. Yeah. I'm not sure how it's going to happen, but
it's not. It's like in a workplace. If you're wearing thongs to work.
Oh, I mean,
and something happens, you get same jobs.
You want to sue the place you work at,
and you win. That's just how that's the world we live in, mate.
I know. It's going to be interesting. That. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. I don't think we need to say anything much more on that.
No.
Good topic.
You know what? In 2 years, we'll
know more.
We'll adjust to it. We'll all be sitting there. It's like how we are with the bump now.
Yeah.
We're like,
I'm telling you,
that's what I was.
That's what I was trying to insinuate earlier when I was trying to say, with any form of movement, it starts from the bottom. Like it takes time to change. Like these things, and things you want to implement in life, in anything, and particularly in AFL. It's not going to happen over 2 or 3 weeks. This is where I think it starts from juniors. Yeah. And eventually the youth that are playing now in 5-10 years, in my opinion, in 10 years' time, no one's going to tackle. It's going to be all corralling. It's going to be a higher running-based team, higher running-based game, where it's going to be more zones and a lot more frontal pressure, which is one of the overused terminologies they got used, which is pretty good. A lot more frontal pressure, which would require teams that running in waves, and teams like Collingwood at the moment, and to an extent the Bulldogs when they get it going. Obviously, they've been a bit lackluster lately, but those type of teams, and Melbourne even, when they run in waves, Hawthorn's the next one I'm looking at, where now they're trying to base their game on a higher handball ratio game, if that makes sense. Like when Collingwood get the ball, they're running, because if the pressure's coming from the opposition, it's just, okay, so you're in opposition, you're coming at me, great, dish the handball off, next one in line, next one in the chain. Yep. No, it's going to be interesting, but as I said, I do believe sling tackle has caused a lot of headaches for all of us. It's such a topical point. Like, we could sit here for an hour and a half.
I hope no one gets rubbed out in a big final.
I'm telling you, it's bound to happen.
Have we even all
bound to happen?
I'd love to know how many players have been suspended this year in general compared to last year.
For dangerous tackles?
In general, including dangerous tackles.
So you want to know players or weeks accumulated?
Both.
Because it could be the same similar players, but the weeks, like, there's a lot more of these 2 and 3 weeks. Like, look at round 1. Pickett, McAdam, DeGoey.
Not even weeks.
I know most of them were all justified. They were all bumps and all that. I understand that.
Not weeks.
Yeah.
I'm saying...
So do you want to narrow it down to how many players are getting suspended via the tackle?
Not just I want to know.
I can get it for you. Not now, but I can find out.
But I think in terms of suspensions, whether it be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, are higher than last year in terms of how many players have been rubbed out.
So you think the MRO are paying a lot more attention to rough conduct type of stuff?
Yeah, no? Obviously the sling tackle. Yep. Like, I saw the list the other day. There's heaps of players being rubbed out.
Oh yeah.
Surely the number's higher than last year.
That's an interesting question. We can have a look at that.
I reckon we'll look at it.
Yeah, why not? Maybe we'll bring it up next week. Done. All right, so we're going to move on to overused footy terminology, which this is so funny. Like, the whole purpose of this is basically, when you listen or read or watch any form of AFL media, there's certain terms that they use that are just they get completely overused. Doesn't mean that they're not necessary, but they get overused. Have you got any for me? I'm going to, while you have a think and while you tell me, I'm going to have a look at the Twitter post that we put up.
Now, the one, someone did write.
Some were pretty funny. Like, I mean.
I've got to say this one before you jump in.
Go on.
Which is on the list because I saw someone wrote it. From January to March.
Oh, I think I know what it's going to be.
You hear.
Every club, I know. Sorry. Go on.
Hey,
I'm looking at it now.
We're going to be good this year. He's training the house down.
Yeah. I completely agree. That is actually quite funny.
Someone calls up SEN. Yeah, he's training the house down.
So the one we put up with you initially, the original Twitter post was honeymoon period. I reckon that. My one was sugar hit. I reckon that gets spoken about way
similar.
too much. Just a couple of the other ones were frontal pressure, perceived pressure, world record. What do we got here? Kicking efficiency. Oh my God, this one got me. Playing our brand. It's like, come on, bro.
Well, we've got it back on our terms.
Yeah, they got it back on their 1 week at a time. One guy's commented Pendlebury has a basketball background, which does get used a lot.
All the time.
So that's Matt Gandolfo. That's actually quite funny. Journeyman, that gets used a lot. Fuck, there's so many. Nourishment. So Carlton on the weekend, Voss has been using the term in the last 6 weeks, scoreboard nourishment, which is basically, it's self-explanatory. You're getting the ball, but you're not making a count on the scoreboard. Mm-hmm. So on the weekend, it was just ironic. Like we kicked less than 10 goals in the last 6 weeks, or whatever it was, and we had 10 goals in the first half on Sunday. It was just funny. Anyway, the scoreboard nourishment's good. Have you got any others?
Do you know what?
Oh my god! Inside the four walls. Oh. Do you know what amazes me about that? What amazes me about that is somehow things that are supposed to be kept inside the four walls, for some unknown reason, seems to get out, mate. Seems to make it outside the four walls.
A couple cracks in the bricks.
Yeah.
Well, AFL 360 do a segment inside the four walls.
I mean, like, it gets way too... I'll tell you one that also is relevant. A lot of people will throw shade on it. But the footy gods. I believe it's more than just the term. I actually think it's a real thing. Yeah, mate. Of course, don't act like you fucking don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
you got your ways.
I do. I've got my ways.
I like the 1 week at a time. And you know what? Yeah, credit to the boys when they do the post game commentary.
Yeah, credit to the boys.
Oh, you had a good game.
It's almost like in the NFL, the first people they thank is God.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like you had 35 touches, 8 clearances, 2 goals.
It's all you, mate.
And they're going, how do you rate your performance? And they're like, credit to the boys. We came in, we got the 4 points. Shut the fuck up. Just say, I got the 3 Brownlow votes. I'm a fucking gun. Boys, jump on my back. I'll take this promised land.
Do you know what's funny? I was listening to a good moment, Frank Tamaris. You know Frank.
Yeah.
So Frank Tamaris, big New York Giants fan. So when Kayvon Thibodeau got drafted to the NFL last year, they were interviewing him, I think, in Vegas where they had the draft. And you should see the way, like, how full of confidence Kayvon Thibodeau was. And we were just thinking, like, imagine if someone from the AFL came out and was that cocky and was that full of confidence, said that. Just like basically what you said. Like, mate, I had the 35 touches. I deserved
just
it.
Own it.
This is my show, mate. You blokes are just fucking watching along.
Give us some personality.
I don't think
they're trained just to say that.
They're conditioned. AFL players are conditioned to a lot differently to other sports stars.
And you see it. You know who you see it with? Mason Cox. Like, he loves. You can see on the field he banters and he
stares down plays. He took them up over. That's why Petrarca cracked the shit.
Yeah. But you like.
No, it was good.
If you're you look like a dickhead. But it's good to
watch.
That
flair.
And you know what I like? Like last year, Langdon, when he came out on the radio, all duck. No, it's good for the game.
That fucking idiot Maynard got into him, whatever his name is.
It becomes like you want to go watch it because you want to see what happens.
Mate, I'm telling you.
Not enough players do it.
I 100% agree with you. And
they're too respectful.
This is something I always mention to other people, I look at these guys as entertainers. And what you said to me just proved it.
Sell the game.
Mate, they're entertainers. I don't think people humanize them or look at them in that
But
particular way.
I
To
feel
me,
like-
I look at them and go, mate, these guys are entertainers just on the world stage.
Yeah. But I think the AFL,
Yeah.
they're entertainers because of their skills and they come out and they entertain.
Sure.
But you can also entertain with your mouth off the field
Yeah.
and create a
vibe. Yeah.
that people say, oh, hang on. Almost like Wayne Carey and Anthony Stevens.
Yeah.
Everyone would have tuned in because there's a vibe.
There's history. There's history.
they want to see.
Yeah.
Create a history, you know?
I think the
Not enough
AFL. I
players
think the
come out.
AFL is good at promoting the game. I think sometimes the players, like you look at some of even our better players, like Chris Judd was tame. Dusty barely speaks.
He doesn't speak. You can
mate.
string a sentence.
No, mate, I got no idea. I suppose if you get him on the gear, no, I'm joking. No, if you have a night out with him, it might be all right. I got no idea. But no, look, like some of our
Probably would've
stars
shut
of the
up, would he?
game.
On a night out.
Oh, mate, maybe we just, no, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say anything. Anyway, yeah, like someone like a Nick Dacos, who I think is the next poster boy of the game.
Oh, but
He's very well spoken. Have you heard him
yeah,
speak?
he's good.
Fuck, he's
But you're not
going to
get that edge. You're not going to get that.
Someone like Sam Walsh came out the other week, and he's one I consider him as a superstar of the game. He came out after that Essendon loss, and the way he spoke, Pommy again, Alan, he goes, mate, the way he summed it up the best. And I just think,
He had a good game on
I
the
think some of
weekend,
these
big boy.
players need to, maybe they don't get an opportunity to express themselves. Maybe it's they're hesitant as to what they say because they're going to get critiqued. And a lot of that is driven from media. But I don't know.
Sponsorships.
I agree. Yeah.
Don't want to say anything stupid.
Well, they gotta also have to understand like who pays their wage. Like,
Just
dunno.
come out on the radio before or have it.
Australia's culture's not like that, Paul. We're not. It's not like America or the
Australian
UK.
culture
It's
is-
not the
But
same.
you know how Australia we like
We just want to put everyone down. That's Australian
Yeah,
culture.
yeah, that's
Mate,
right.
it is. That's
We tear
Australian
down who's
media
at the top.
is we just want to rip everyone and if you're here, we want to make sure that you come back down here.
Correct.
That's Australian media
right.
and Australian culture.
That's right.
But anyway, that's a discussion for another. Thanks to everyone who commented on that on Twitter. That was actually quite funny. Inside the four
was
walls. Oh my God. There's so many good ones.
Training
Anyway,
the house down. That's
training the
great.
house down was, yep. All right, look, we'll move on to our Who's Cooking segment. And we've got our top 5 teams, top 5 players. I
going
mentioned
first?
earlier. I'm whatever. Mate, you're the guest. You're more than welcome to go first.
I've gone.
Top 5 teams.
Oh, we're going teams. Well, I've got
We are.
Pies. Pies 1, Port 2.
Yeah.
I've just booked. I've got to tell you, I booked Adelaide in 5 weeks. Go watch Collingwood play Port over there with the
Fuck,
Ferals.
that's going to be feral as
They're
fuck.
feral as fuck. They are.
Bro.
They actually-
Mate, you fucking blokes are worse.
They're actually pigs over there,
Port. So we got any Port fans you want to tell them?
right?
Hey, make
I'll
sure.
stare
Hey,
down.
make sure when
Dead
you
set.
make sure when you wear sunnies because if they're watching this, mate, they're gonna look
Yeah, I
at
know,
you. They're gonna
I know.
notice your face.
I'll probably shave my beard
Yeah, but
and I'll lose 10
that'll
kilos.
be a good game. Congrats.
It will be good.
What day
But
is it?
geez, they're such a hostile
Crowd.
Like even on when I
I
watch,
love it though. I love that shit.
No, it's good. It's good.
No,
Oh, fuck,
I enjoy that.
it's because it's all one club. I get it. Good on them.
Yeah.
I hope we win. I'll shove it up their ass from the top.
Yeah.
Deck.
But, so who you got? You got Collingwood, Port.
Pies, Port. Look, Port could argue be 1 either way. Melbourne 3, Lions 4 because there's no one else.
Yeah.
So probably Melbourne, 4 piles of shit, and then Brisbane, and then there's
Sorry, so number 4 is piles of shit. Brisbane.
between Melbourne,
Oh,
4
there's
piles of
there's a
shit,
gap. There's a gap. Okay,
then Brisbane,
sure.
and then will come Tigers underneath. But
Mate,
let me tell you, I'd back Richmond in Melbourne against the Lions.
the problem is Brisbane
won't
might
happen.
finish way too far ahead of
Yep.
them for
Yep.
that to ever eventuate.
I've got to go Richmond 5. I can't
Yep.
find another team.
Yeah.
Well, we just had a convo
Paul,
before.
I'll be honest with you. This is going to be easy for our editor to put this up. My top 5 teams are exactly the same as yours. I'll run through them quickly. Collingwood, Port Adelaide, Melbourne, Brisbane, Richmond sneak in.
Richmond, Geelong.
I mean Geelong. Yeah,
they're
like
just a bit
I'm not sold on St Kilda. Like St Kilda and Essendon are in the top 8, right?
Yep.
But I'm not convinced on. I still think
I don't think Essendon got a tough run home.
no, they don't.
Yes, they
Paul,
do.
No, they don't.
They do.
Mate, they've got West Coast North still to play.
Nah, I know they play them.
Absolute
All right, I'll
certainties
give you
to
a
make the
question.
8.
Well, we'll speak through this week's previews. I want to see if you tip Essendon.
I'm tipping Fremantle. I'll tell you now.
Well, there you go.
But it means nothing though.
They've got a tougher run, and I don't think North aren't as bad as North in Melbourne aren't as bad.
They'll take care of it. Anyway, we'll get on to that in
we'll
the
go to
preview. So out my top 5 players and your top 5 players, surprisingly, they're not exactly the same. So that's easy. Let's move on.
Quirky ones.
Top 5 teams. My bad. Sorry. Listen to shit. Top
Players.
5 players, Paul. Go.
We're going with Butters. He's still my one.
Zach Butters 1. Yep.
After his game on Sunday, the Bont comes up to 2.
Yep.
Dacos at 3 with the bye.
Yep.
Up from 5th to 4th.
So hang on. Sorry to protest here. I'm lodging a protest. I'm lodging a protest here. How have you dropped Nick Dacos to 3 when he didn't play?
Well, because Bont had a good game.
So this is more of a Bont's just gone up as opposed to relegating.
Dacos might come back this week, mate, when he has 40 against Adelaide.
Yeah, okay.
Toby Green
40 touches that mean nothing like Tim
nothing.
Taranto. Okay, gotcha.
He's much more effective than
Gotcha.
that fucking Taranto. 4, we're going Toby Green. He had another good game on the weekend. Jeez, he's good.
Yep.
And 5 is a rich man's Taranto. And I just said he's been the number 1 ranked player in the comp the last 5 weeks. And he probably goes unnoticed up there.
You mentioned it to me. I've already forgotten.
Josh Dunkley.
Josh Dunkley, that's right from Brisbane.
He's having a very good year.
Mate, if Jaden Shea's watching, him and Dunkley are good mates.
Are they?
Yeah, I might send this video.
Send it over.
Send it over. We'll sit there, we'll cook him dinner or something.
He's been good.
He's
probably been their best midfielder.
Top of my head,
Who would be better? Neil hasn't had
Lockie, obvious, but I mean,
I don't think.
I reckon even by Lockie Neal's admission, and you know, you listen to Hoyne on Tuesday, and I remember he said he's like 240th in the comp
for kicking.
He had.
Have you heard his stat about his kicking this year?
He had Daniel Hoyne played on SEN Sports Day with Kane Corns and played a set. He goes, who am I? I am this in clearances. I am this in disposals. I am this, but I am ranked 230th in the AFL. Who do you think it was?
Neil.
Yeah,
it
was Lockie Neal.
And he's something like the worst kick going inside 50 in the comp.
Yeah, interesting. My top 5 players are Zach Butters, Nick Dacos, Marcus Bontempelli, Zach Merritt at 4. I know we don't have Zach Merritt's unbelievable. I can't relegate him after the bye. Number 5, I wish we had 6, but I've got literally a photo finish between Jack Sinclair and Tim Taranto. Himmy.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding you.
Jack Sinclair at 5.
Mate,
you off
he
your
influences
fucking head?
games. No, I'm not off my head. Are you off your head?
Jesus.
We can't drug test you because you got you got the Ben Cousins look.
I'll tell you what.
I'm joking.
One of those players has an amazing kick, though.
Sinclair? Well, you're just laughing that I had him there.
He's not a top 5. He's not a top 5.
You don't think he
Come
is?
on, Adrian.
Mate, I'm completely not. I'm happy to
footy.
I'm happy to stick
it's
fat.
Opinions.
Jack Sinclair.
He's a good player.
And Tim Taranto, Tim Taranto, if Richmond FC are watching, mate, just get him to trademark Himmy Taranto, Himothy Taranto, because he is airborne. I know we had our dispute earlier, but Himmy Taranto, Himothy Taranto, we'll call him. He's him and Sinclair equal 5th. All right, that's who's cooking segment. Round 15 preview. Ooh. Thursday night footy back again. Hey, just quickly. Hey, just quickly. I was having a discussion with a bloke at work. He was saying their AFL will not bring in Thursday night games for the whole year in 2024.
Oh, really? I thought it was.
Do you reckon they will?
I thought it was a guaranteed. It was
being
negotiated.
That's what I said to him.
Yeah, and it was.
He reckons they won't bring it every week. I reckon they will. No.
Well, when Andrew Dillon was announced, he said that.
Oh, mate, is he the who? Is he the
started
CEO?
yet?
Who fucking knows? He came out during the week and goes, "Oh, I don't think it's hard to work like this. There is nothing uncertain or unclear about the tackle." And I was like, "Oh, that's fucking encouraging from the boss. Whenever you're ready to start, mate.
Let us know when you want to come to work.
just whenever you're ready, mate.
I heard it was certainty next year. The Thursday night footies will be permanent.
Cool. I like it. You a fan?
It's just exciting. And it gives you something to talk about on the Friday, leading into Friday night.
So now it's Thursday through to Sunday. I like that. That's 4 days of footy.
There's no
overlap. There's no overlapping game.
I'm hoping it's a Saturday night. They don't overlap The two games.
As in the 4:40 game and the 7th. Or
there's usually
one,
2 at 7:30 if there's no Thursday night game.
There's usually also 2 at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
Or 1 or 2 o'clock.
On the Saturday they do 1 at 1 o'clock and 1 at 4.
No.
Yeah, they do.
Paul, that's Sunday. Saturday is 1:45, 2
Yes.
p.m., 4:35 p.m.
Oh, they got
Yeah.
They got 3 on the Saturday, do they?
No, they've got 5 games. There's no
They've
game.
got 3 in the Arvo,
Okay,
3 in the day.
If it's a regular Friday to Sunday game, Friday to Sunday week,
Yep.
1 on Friday, 5 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. Yeah.
But the 5 on Saturday,
Yep.
there's 3 in the day.
There's 3 before 6 p.m.
Yeah, okay. Correct, that's right.
All right. Thursday night, 22nd of June.
Boom.
GHB.
I'm excited for this game.
Not GHB. Fuck me.
GM.
GMHBA, not GHB.
I'm
Geelong
going
versus Melbourne. What are we doing?
Geelong.
Gonna shave your hair.
Isn't
if
that
they
what
don't
you
win?
say? Max stakes.
Max units.
Max units.
Max units for the fellas. You know, go the Cats.
Wouldn't be betting on it, but I would say Geelong. It's going to be a cracker game. Geelong in Geelong.
Clary. Oh, Clary's fucking.
Who knows?
Fucking. Where is this bloke? Like, is he going to play? Like, there was drama with him earlier in the week again.
What's happened to him?
Mate, no. Ask Griff. Griff drove him to the hospital.
He's in the Uber still.
He drove him to the hospital in Malvern. I don't know. If Clary comes back, he's so important for them. I just think Melbourne have another gear. You know how big I am in the Cats. I love the Cats. In all seriousness, this week or tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, if Geelong lose, done, cast. Like they're cast. No, listen, they're done. They're done, blood. They're done. Geelong, if they win tomorrow night, keep their season alive. I'm actually going to stay out of this. I've got them neck and neck. I actually can't split them. It's a genuine coin toss.
I think
it's a coin toss to me.
I've
got no idea.
Look, Geelong's been under pressure this week.
I know.
You know what happens when you're under the pump. You come out.
Well, a team like Geelong has the capacity or the ability with their backs to the wall.
Off the bye too, Melbourne. The record isn't good off the bye.
Big deal. Like, yeah, I agree.
In
I know.
in the AFL, the record off the bye
isn't good.
awful.
Okay. Geelong do have the capability to, when their backs are against, very similar to Collingwood in the Malthouse days.
Yep.
When their backs were against the wall, they just knew how to fight. I've got no idea. I'm going to stay out.
Don't sit on the fence.
I'll fucking sit on the picket
Don't
fence,
get splinters on your ass.
Mate, I don't want to get another haircut. I can't afford another haircut.
Who wins?
Oh, no, I don't know. Geelong. Blah, blah, blah. Friday. Marvel, another good game. Mate, you should have seen the market collapse in this game. Yesterday I was just doing a few things. And they were neck and neck. They were $1.90 each too. St Kilda v Brisbane, sorry.
Oh, is it?
St Kilda versus Brisbane,
So
Friday,
you've got two
23rd of June.
crackers. Okay.
Mate, there's a lot of like $1.80 v2. There's a lot of 50-50 games this week. I'm just...
Is that
Mate, there actually is.
So it's at
the
Marvel.
other one is the Fremantle. Yeah, it's at Marvel on Friday night. Mate, the price of Brisbane just collapsed. I don't know. It's got to be a news play.
As in what? Brisbane's a favourite now?
Brisbane is outright favourite. Brisbane $4 to $5, $1.80. St Kilda are $2.
I reckon
$2.05.
I personally didn't think Saints were that bad on Saturday.
Weren't. You were saying to me earlier off air that you believe it's got something to do with the rain. The rain.
As soon as it rained, they folded.
Okay, so you're going to go.
And then they came back too. To their credit, they adjusted in the late in the
I
third.
I reckon they had a patch in that game against the Tigers where I just thought, when are they going to go past them? And they just didn't.
Richmond's defence just held up.
Mate, they had 4 shots in the last quarter.
Yeah.
Neither of them scored. They highlighted on the Sunday Footy show.
Yeah.
4 shots in the last quarter. No one
I think
scored.
It was Higgins,
Max King,
Yep.
Mateus Philippou,
Yep.
some other monkey.
Yep.
I don't donkey.
So
I don't know.
I
Who do
still
you
respect
reckon?
the Saints.
Yeah,
I'll go Saints.
Yep. Cool.
I'm
I mean, this reminds me of the Carlton and Brisbane game where Brisbane,
out and won.
well, everyone expected Carlton, or everyone doubted Brisbane or had question marks. I still have my question marks about Brisbane. Don't think the question marks are against teams like St Kilda. St Kilda will try and suffocate them. They'll try and be rigid.
They did lose to the Hawks though.
That's
I
the
think they play
MCG.
Marvel better.
That's at the MCG.
I think they play Marvel
exactly.
better.
I'm gonna go with Brisbane and your mate Josh Dunkley and Jaden Shea, whatever he does there now. God bless him. I think the Brisbane are going to win. Saturday, 24th of June, 4:35. No overlapping games. Sydney, West Coast, whatever. No,
Sydney.
SCG. Sydney.
Sydney.
Yep, Sydney as well. Just?
They were. No,
Just? What?
I'm only joking.
Hang on.
They
No,
were,
you want to have a bet?
No, Sydney win.
Do you want to have a bet?
Sydney will win by. No, I'm not having a bet.
By what?
They'll win by over 7 goals.
So 42.
Yeah.
So
what's the line?
Was 59.5
there you
for
go.
me. No, hang on.
There you go.
Has moved in
Oh,
to about 51.5, which 8 points is
So
a pretty
what?
big go. Like last week, Carlton negative 1.5. Like, was anyone not laughing at that? Mate, they started 7.5 favourites.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm saying is when it shifts by a goal or more, that's a big move. I mean, it is the
West
rough.
Coast have been
It's
better.
rough. I know.
I
Sydney
actually
are gonna
thought
win. Sydney were brave last week.
They weren't
They
bad.
were brave.
Yeah.
They were really brave.
And Chris Fagan wasn't happy after that game. He was
Don't blame
grumpy.
him. Mate, they got hard. They don't have a defence. They didn't have a fucking forward line.
Yeah. Yep.
Mate, who they have? Hayden McLean. Mate, he wouldn't get a game for Lebanon.
I got question marks over Brisbane. They've dropped
But hang
off.
on, I know. We're talking St Kilda Eagles. Who do you think will win?
St Kilda Eagles.
Sydney and Eagles.
Sydney's going to win.
My God.
Sydney will win easily.
Easy. All right. Wow. The game that you were speaking about earlier. Fremantle Dockers and Essendon Optus Stadium 7:25.
I feel sorry for Essendon.
Why?
I'll tell you why. I hate when you come up against a team.
Draper might not play, by the way.
Okay, there we go. There's
Announced
news.
today. Wasn't on the track. But Darcy Parish might be back.
This is not a bad
Darcy
in.
Paris.
Not a bad in. But
Agree.
there's nothing worse playing a
player.
team who gets pumped and's in the media all week.
Oh, teams did it against Carlton for 6 weeks in a row, mate.
Well, that's true.
6 weeks in a row, they did it
that's
to
true.
us.
That's Carlton, mate.
You're going to
Fremantle
go
will come out
Fremantle.
fine. I reckon Freo win.
I think Freo win. I know, as we said earlier, St Kilda are 5th, I think, and Richmond. Oh, sorry, Essendon are 6th or 7th. I don't reckon Essendon is. I know they're riding a wave at the moment, Essendon, and they have improved. Fremantle are a better team. Like
They've been.
I'm looking at the ladder
been
position.
awful,
They're 13th, and Essendon is 6th. Like Fremantle are not. I'm going to go with you. I think Freo too.
They've been awful though the last 2 weeks.
I know.
Really bad. Actually, that Giants game was terrible.
I barely watched it. I saw it
They
was
lost by
70
80
points.
odds?
Yeah.
70 to 80.
Fremantle?
Freo.
Fremantle. Sunday.
Freo.
You going Sunday? Collingwood.
I'm going. That's a danger
Collingwood,
game.
Adelaide. Please. Fucking please.
Collingwood, Adelaide.
Come on, bro. Collingwood v Adelaide, MCG, 1:10. Mate, you're getting the Carlton time slots.
Yeah, I know.
How many's going to rock up to this one? 28,000 like the Gold Coast game?
Nah, Pies will get 50,
Please.
60.
Adelaide's got a good fan base here too. Actually,
You
Australia-wide.
think there'd be what, 55,000?
Nah. Well,
reckon less?
Collingwood supporters only buy 3-game memberships, no? You're an AFL, mate. You like me, AFL. Mate. Did you get your tickets to the Carlton Collingwood game?
No.
Oh, mate,
I'm going to try and walk up.
You're going to be sitting at the top. AFL,
It's not a relevant game anymore this year, is it? Really? Is it, Adrian?
Not irrelevant.
They came out yesterday.
I agree. I know. I got them. That's what I was asking.
Oh,
You got
look,
'em. Anyway, Collingwood or Adelaide. You said danger game.
Collingwood win.
Confident?
Yeah, they're off the bye.
You confident?
3 to 4 goals. Is that what's
That's
the line?
margin
You know
bet-
the line?
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm looking at the price, like head to head.
What's
$1.32, 3. I'd say it's about 20.
Yeah, it's short. I think
Yeah,
Adelaide
18.5 to
Adelaide
19.
don't travel well, and I think
Mm.
Tim Taranto went down with his knee.
That was 2. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
done.
and
Done
that's
for
a
the
big
year.
loss. That's a big loss for them.
Yep.
Key back.
I'm going to go Collingwood too.
Collingwood win.
This is another good game. Sunday 4-4. Is anyone going to watch this? Gold Coast versus Hawthorn. Gold Coast has got a lot on the line here, and Hawthorn are not.
Where is it?
Hawthorn won't roll over. Heritage Bank Stadium.
Nah,
up in the
Gold Coast win. There?
It's hard to play there when in those twilight games, man. You know how it's
Dewey.
You blokes always struggle. We struggle. Carlton struggle. Every team does. They struggle to play there.
Collingwood just beat them last year.
I know. I was watching it with Phil and Matt.
Oh,
Phil
were
and
you?
Tony. Yeah, watching it.
Well,
I remember
they
that
just
game.
won.
I was in a coma.
Philip.
Couldn't believe. I was in a genuine coma.
Yeah, they're tough to beat. I think Collingwood plays them next week. I think
Possibly. Gold Coast or Hawthorn?
Gold Coast up there.
Yeah, Gold Coast.
They'll bounce back.
Me too. Well, I think we might wrap it up. That's been interesting with not much Carlton talk. Oh,
We
go
did
on.
say we might get a special guest next week.
Stay tuned.
A debate. Heated debate.
Oh my God.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get that piece
I haven't
of shit
confirmed
on.
anything, but we I don't know where this is going to go, but look, we've got an idea where we might have someone on next week.
Everyone, he's a little weasel.
Shut up.
He's a fucking weasel.
We might need some handcuffs brought next month. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching. Keep an eye out during the week. We may announce if we're going to have a special guest. Sorry,
Weasel.
on Monday. Shut up. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe.
Get the weasel.
You can't deal with this bloke.
I can't speak to him. He's blocked me on Facebook. You little weak piece of shit.
Thanks for watching, guys. We do appreciate it. I can't deal with this. We'll let you go. Have a good week.